Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here. So this is the
daughter.
Yep, and baby G. She's in the background hanging out, cleaning up a mess.
That the cat made.
Yeah, that the cat made. This is the 6mm Creedmoor step-by-step reloading video. So I will simply run you through what I do to load up 6mm Creedmoor. It won't be a full-length version because I'm trying to keep this video to right at 10 minutes or less, because if you just watch my last video about my reloading setup, it was like 23 minutes long. That's a long time to hear somebody rambling on about how they reload and what they use to reload. So we're going to shorten this. It's going to be 10 minutes, but I'll walk you through each step of the process, kind of explain to you what's going on. And if you didn't watch the entire video on the reloading setup, I mentioned something right there at the tail end of it, that if you're doing anything like this where you're going for consistency or accuracy or reproducibility of a load or something like that, then what you want to do is you want to make sure, especially in reloading, that every single step of the process is performed the exact same way. Okay, so just FYI. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So we'll get started. I use Hornady case one-shot case lube. So this stuff, it's all right. You just kind of spray. This is, by the way, this is new brass. This is new Hornady brass. And on the bottle here, I mean, it tells you the instructions or whatever. Basically, it tells you to hold the can at a 45-degree angle. You know, with your cases in a block, spray, you know, on that 45-degree angle, spin the block around, spray again. So that way you get the whole case. The lube gets in the case. You let it dry, and then once it dries, then you're ready to go for the next operation. We're actually not going to be loading any of these rounds today. I've already got some 6mm that's primed, ready to go. And it's all from the same batch. So everything's going to be done the exact same way. I ordered 250 pieces from Midway of Hornady brass, and so this is, I think I've got 100 left that I haven't done anything to yet. So you'll see that process, what I do with brand new brass. This is not once fired, just so we're clear. All right, so I think.
And he's drinking his coffee.
Yep, and I'm drinking my coffee. So that's basically dried enough. So next step is you want to come over to your press, because this is where you're going to set up your sizing die. Now again, on this, it's brand new brass, so it hasn't been fired, so it doesn't need to be sized, deprimed, anything like that. So we don't have to worry about that. But what I do care about is that case mouth uniformity. So I have my die actually set a lot higher than I normally would, because all I care about is running the expander ball through every single mouth of the case. So I feel it go up, I feel the expander ball run through the mouth of the case, and then I come right back down. I don't even go all the way to the top of the stroke, because there's no need to. You're not resizing the cases. You're not depriming anything. There's not a primer to knock out. So this step in the process, I simply run them through every single case, make sure case mouths are uniform. I'll just do 10 right here real quick. Bless you, pretty girl. And you know, and just kind of, especially on new brass, I mean, the very first step in the process, because I mean, I'm not going to bore y'all to tears here because you can make reloading as long as you want to make it. It takes time. Like I've said in my last video, it takes a lot of time and effort to reload. I mean, even just 10 rounds, if you're going to do it consistently and do it what I would call the right way. Whereas you do everything the same every single time to try to get as close to the same results as you can. So there's 10 cases. We just ran them through, let the expander ball work its magic, and then pretty straightforward stuff. So stroke, you know, didn't even go all the way to the top of the stroke there for the ram. So we're on the top 10 right here. Those are the ones that we just did, the top 10. So But like whenever I get new brass in, the main thing that I always do as soon as I open it up is I inspect every single piece. So I did all 250 pieces. I inspect every single one. I measure every single one. And then if they need to be trimmed, you know, that's where this guy comes into play. The universal, the Lyman universal case trimmer. I'll trim them to whatever length they need to be, and then I'll move on from there. So now that we have them, these have all been measured, you know, prior to this video, so I know everything's within acceptable range on the length. So once I resize, not even resize, but once I just make sure all the case mouths are uniform, and that there's no issues there, the next step and what I do is I come right over here to my Case Prep Express, and I'll do I'll chamfer, deburr, and then just sort of run the brush. Even though it's brand new, I get in the habit of running them through the brush. Even though they're brand new, it just, I mean, same thing. I just try to be as consistent as possible. It's just running it through the brush is pretty pointless, but you don't necessarily have to do that. It's just something that I do. So chamfer, deburr, brush, done. It's pretty quick, pretty painless on this. All I'm wanting to do is just put a little bit of that chamfer on the inside of the case mouth there. And the reason I do it to even brand new cases is because this is my process for once fired brass. So it all goes back to what I said previously. If you want to minimize as many potential variables in, you know, creating mistakes or inconsistencies in your reloading, then you need to do everything basically the exact same way every single time. That even includes brand new brass. That's just my opinion, of course. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just saying that's my opinion of it. As you do this, you follow the same process minus, you know, cleaning the pocket primer pocket, because it isn't once fired, but you follow the same process.
It's a pain to your ears too.
Yeah, it's a pain to your ears too, according to my daughter. But you follow the exact same process every time, and so that way there's no question, right? Once we get our chamfer and deburr completed, then we'll come over here. We will prime everything. I'm out of large rifle primers. I haven't been to Mr. Big Guns over in Huntsville to pick any up, so I need to run over there and get some, but I use this as a primer tool. Essentially, you would just load the large rifle primers in here, in this little tray, close everything up, take a case, slide it in, make sure you have the proper shell holder, and then you just prime the case. So that's where we're going to pick up with our brass that is actually already primed and ready to go, which will be there. So now we have a known good load for the bullet that we're going to be loading, and that is 41.2 grains of H4350. We have our Saturn funnel, caliber specific funnel that we're going to use.
Hey Dad, do you know what the scissors are?
No ma'am, I do not.
Oh, here they are. They're on the floor.
Oh, you found them? Cool. Now I'm just swapping out over to my bullet seating die. So we have our 41.2 grains down into our case. All right. We will load our case in there. Bullet up into the bullet seating die, and boom, finish round in 10 minutes.